Learn English through story. The seeds of bad words. In the quaint town of Elderville, nestled between rolling hills and vibrant fields, lived a woman named Ruth. Known for her warmth and generosity, Ruth was the heart of the community, often lending a helping hand to her neighbors. However, beneath her kind demeanor lay a deep-rooted insecurity that sometimes manifested in ways she never intended. Ruth worked as a secretary at the local law firm, where she spent her days organizing files and supporting the lawyers. She had a close-knit group of friends, but her closest companion was Sarah, a spirited woman with an infectious laugh. They often spent evenings sharing stories over cups of tea, their laughter echoing in Ruth's cozy kitchen. One day, a new attorney named David joined the firm. He was ambitious, confident, and undeniably charming. Ruth admired his work ethic, but she couldn't shake the feeling of inadequacy that his presence stirred within her. While she wanted to support him, her insecurity led her to make careless comments about him, often criticizing his methods in front of her friends. "I just don't think he's as good as he thinks he is," Ruth would say, rolling her eyes. "He's all talk and no action." At first, her friends responded with light-hearted banter, dismissing her remarks. But as time went on, Ruth's criticisms grew sharper. Instead of recognizing David's efforts, she began to spread seeds of doubt about his capabilities. One afternoon, while enjoying lunch with Sarah and a few other colleagues, Ruth's comments took a darker turn. "Honestly, I think he's just in over his head. I don't trust him with the important cases." As her words hung in the air, Sarah's smile faded. "Ruth, are you sure you want to speak like that? It might come back to haunt you," she cautioned. But Ruth shrugged off the warning, convinced that her opinions were justified. "I'm just being honest. Someone has to say it." The weeks turned into months, and Ruth continued to sow seeds of bad words about David. Unbeknownst to her, these comments began to influence the perceptions of others at the firm. Whispers circulated in the hallways, and David sensed a growing hostility. Despite his hard work and dedication, Ruth's words had tainted his reputation. One day, the firm faced a major case that required collaboration between all its attorneys. Tensions ran high as they prepared for the trial, and Ruth found herself in a meeting with David and the senior partners. As they discussed strategy, Ruth felt a surge of defensiveness whenever David spoke. His confidence annoyed her, and before she realized it, she snapped. "Why are we even listening to you? You haven't been here long enough to understand the complexities of this case." The room fell silent. David's face flushed, and he looked taken aback. The senior partners exchanged uneasy glances, and the atmosphere grew tense. Ruth felt a moment of satisfaction but quickly realized her words had crossed a line. After the meeting, Sarah approached Ruth, concern etched on her face. "Ruth, you've got to stop. This isn't who you are. Your words are hurting him." Ruth brushed off her friend's concerns. "I'm just speaking the truth. He needs to know he's not as great as he thinks." But deep down, Ruth felt the weight of her words. They lingered like a dark cloud, casting shadows over her once bright spirit. She had planted seeds of negativity, and as they grew, they choked out the light. As the trial approached, the tension within the firm escalated. Ruth's words had created an environment of distrust, and David struggled to rally support for the case. He worked tirelessly, but every time he presented an idea, Ruth's criticisms echoed in the minds of their colleagues. On the day of the trial, Ruth watched from the gallery as David presented his case. He spoke with clarity and passion, laying out a compelling argument. But as she listened, she couldn't shake the guilt that gnawed at her. Her words had contributed to an atmosphere of doubt, and she realized how deeply she had affected David's chances of success. After the trial, which ended in a bittersweet victory for the firm, Ruth approached David, her heart heavy with regret. "David, can we talk?" she asked hesitantly. He looked at her, a mix of surprise and caution in his eyes. "Sure," he replied. "I wanted to apologize," Ruth began, her voice trembling. "I've said things about you that I shouldn't have. I let my insecurities get the best of me, and I never intended to hurt you." David's expression softened, but he remained guarded. "It's okay, I appreciate the apology, but the damage is done. Your words have influenced how others see me." Ruth felt tears prick her eyes. "I didn't realize how harmful my words could be. I thought I was just being honest. I never wanted to undermine your work." He nodded, his gaze distant. "Words hold power, Ruth. They can uplift or tear down. I worked hard for this firm, but your words planted seeds of doubt that spread far and wide." Feeling the weight of his words, Ruth understood that her behavior was rooted in her own insecurities. She had let fear drive her actions, and in doing so, she had damaged not only David's reputation but also her own integrity. "I want to make things right," Ruth said, determination rising within her. "I'll speak to the partners and clear the air. I want them to know how much I respect your work." David's expression remained skeptical. "It won't be easy. The damage has been done." "I know," she replied earnestly, "but I can't let my words continue to harm you. I'll do whatever it takes to rectify this." After their conversation, Ruth felt a renewed sense of purpose. She reached out to the senior partners and requested a meeting. It was time to take responsibility for the seeds of bad words she had sown. In the meeting, Ruth laid bare her regrets. "I've spoken poorly of David, and I want to publicly acknowledge that my comments were unfounded. His work has been exemplary, and I've allowed my insecurities to cloud my judgment." The partners listened, surprised by her candor. David was present, and although he remained reserved, a flicker of appreciation crossed his face. Ruth continued, "I want to ensure that everyone recognizes the dedication and talent he brings to our firm. I deeply regret any harm I've caused." The room fell silent, and after a moment, one of the partners spoke up. "It takes courage to admit when we're wrong. We appreciate your honesty, Ruth. It's essential for our team to support one another." As the meeting concluded, Ruth felt a weight lift off her shoulders. She had taken the first step toward healing, both for David and for herself. While it wouldn't erase the past, she hoped it would help mend the damage her words had caused. In the following weeks, Ruth made a concerted effort to change her behavior. She focused on cultivating an environment of positivity and support, not just for David but for all her colleagues. Instead of criticizing, she sought to uplift. Instead of spreading seeds of doubt, she aimed to plant seeds of encouragement. As she began to change her approach, she noticed a shift in the office. Colleagues started to open up, sharing ideas and collaborating more freely. David's confidence grew as he felt the support of his team, and gradually, their relationship improved. Ruth learned the value of kindness, recognizing that her words had the power to shape the world around her. One afternoon, while working on a joint project, David approached Ruth with gratitude. "I appreciate what you've done for me, Ruth. Your support means a lot." Ruth smiled, feeling a sense of warmth in her heart. "Thank you, David. I'm learning that our words can build bridges or create barriers. I want to be someone who builds bridges." As the seasons changed, so did Ruth. She became a champion of positivity within the firm, encouraging others to speak kindly and thoughtfully. Her journey taught her that while the seeds of bad words could sprout quickly, the seeds of kindness took patience and care to flourish. Months later, as Ruth stood before a group of interns during an orientation session, she shared her story. Words have power, and how we choose to use them can have a profound impact. I learned this the hard way, but I want you all to understand that you have the ability to uplift others. Choose your words wisely. The interns listened intently, absorbing her message. Ruth felt a sense of fulfillment as she realized that her experience could help others avoid the pitfalls she had encountered. As time went on, Ruth's relationship with David blossomed into a genuine friendship. They often collaborated on projects, finding a rhythm that allowed their strengths to shine. Together, they fostered a culture of support and collaboration within the firm, and the impact of their efforts was felt throughout the office. Ruth also took her message beyond the firm. She began volunteering at local schools, speaking to students about the importance of kindness and the power of words. She shared her journey, hoping to inspire the next generation to plant seeds of positivity in their own lives. Years later, as she reflected on her transformation, Ruth realized that her journey had come full circle. The seeds of bad words she had once sown had blossomed into a garden of kindness and support. Through her experiences, she had learned that words could either create a legacy of negativity or pave the way for a future filled with opportunity and connection. In Elderville, Ruth became known not just for her talent but for her commitment to uplifting others. She understood that every word spoken was a choice, a chance to nurture or harm. And with each day, she continued to plant seeds of positivity, knowing that the garden of her life was shaped by the words she chose to cultivate. I hope you enjoyed the story. If you enjoyed, then please like and share this video, and don't forget to subscribe our YouTube channel. Thank you for watching.